The Witch isn't just another horror film. It's a descent into fear, paranoia, and temptation, wrapped in a 17th century folktale that feels more real than supernatural. Robert Eggers' debut feature is slow, chilling, and deeply unsettling, the kind of movie that crawls under your skin and stays there. Today on Room of Opinions, we're breaking down The Witch. We'll explain the plot, the family's unraveling, the meaning behind the ending, and why this story of a goat named Black Phillip is one of the most disturbing horror films of the last decade. Stick with me until the very end, because the true meaning of Thomasin's final choice might just change how you see the entire film. Our story begins in the 1630s. A deeply religious Puritan family, William, his wife Catherine, their children, Thomasin, Caleb, Mercy, Jonas, and newborn Samuel are cast out of their settlement after William argues with the elders about religious purity. In his pride, he refuses to submit, and so the family is exiled. Already, we see the seeds of tragedy. This isn't a family united by love, but by harsh devotion and William's stubborn pride. They build a small farm near a dark, foreboding forest. Catherine worries, Thomasin tries to obey, Caleb carries guilt and curiosity, and the twins sing eerie songs to their goat, Black Phillip. One day, Thomasin is playing peekaboo with baby Samuel. In a blink, the child vanishes. We cut to one of the most unsettling scenes in the film, a witch in the woods, grinding Samuel's remains for a ritual. The family never sees this to them. Samuel simply disappeared, but grief and suspicion immediately poison their home. From here, everything falls apart. Crops fail, the corn rots, animals sicken. William insists they must endure, but his strength is hollow. Catherine descends into grief and bitterness, turning against Thomasin, whom she blames for Samuel's disappearance. Caleb, meanwhile, becomes troubled by sinful thoughts, staring too long at his sister, tempted by curiosity, and weighed down by guilt. And then there are the twins, Mercy and Jonas. They spend their days dancing around Black Phillip, chanting rhymes, and claiming he speaks to them. It starts as child's play, but it grows darker with each passing day. When Caleb sneaks into the woods with Thomasin, he encounters a mysterious woman. She's beautiful at first, but as he leans in, her hand transforms, aged and monstrous. Later, Caleb stumbles back home, naked, delirious, and seemingly possessed. His death scene is one of the film's most horrifying. He convulses, cries out to Jesus in ecstasy, and then collapses, lifeless. The family's fear boils over. Catherine blames Thomasin for Caleb's death. The twins accuse her of witchcraft. William, desperate and broken, locks Thomasin and the twins in the barn with Black Phillip for the night. This is where the nightmare comes fully alive. In the dark, the children scream as a witch feeds on the goat. By morning, the barn is destroyed. William is gored and killed by Black Phillip, trampled into the mud. Catherine, half mad with grief, attacks Thomasin in a frenzy. In a brutal struggle, Thomasin kills her own mother in self-defense. Now completely alone, Thomasin enters the barn again. She whispers to Black Phillip. At first, silence. But then, in one of the most chilling moments in modern horror, the goat responds. His voice is smooth, calm, and sinister. He tempts her. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? Broken, starving, and stripped of everything, Thomasin agrees. She signs his book, sealing her soul. She follows him into the forest, where she joins a coven of witches in a midnight ritual. They chant, They dance, and they rise into the air. Thomasin, too, levitates, laughing in ecstasy. For the first time in the entire film, she smiles. So what does it all mean? On the surface, The Witch is a folktale about evil in the woods. But Robert Eggers, who spent years researching 17th century journals, diaries, and folklore, built a deeper, symbolic story. At its core, The Witch is about repression, isolation, and the consequences of religious extremism. This family's strict Puritan faith leaves no room for weakness, love, or individuality. Every misfortune is blamed on sin. Every tragedy is seen as punishment from God. Instead of turning to each other for comfort, they turn on each other with suspicion. William's pride condemns them from the start. Catherine's grief twists into cruelty. Caleb's natural curiosity becomes guilt. The twins, too young to understand, play at darkness until it consumes them. And Thomasin, trapped between childhood and womanhood, becomes the scapegoat. That final scene with Black Phillip is the ultimate irony. Thomasin is offered freedom to live deliciously, to taste butter, to wear fine clothes, to see the world, things she has never even imagined after a lifetime of repression. But her freedom only comes through damnation. To escape the cage of her Puritan family, she must give herself fully to the darkness. And that's why the ending is so disturbing. It's not simply a victory of evil, it's a tragedy of circumstance. Thomasin doesn't choose the devil because she's wicked. She chooses him because he's the only one offering her life after her own family has destroyed itself. Even Black Phillip himself is symbolic. Goats, historically, were tied to satanic imagery. The twins' playful rhymes blur the line between childish imagination and real evil. By the time Thomasin kneels before him, we realize he's been whispering in the background all along, the devil patiently waiting for the family to collapse. The Witch also works because of its realism. The dialogue is authentic, drawn from 17th century texts. The setting is bleak and naturalistic. There are no flashy effects, just mood, tension, and inevitability. The horror isn't in what jumps out at you, but in what feels inevitable, like a curse you can't escape. In the end, The Witch is both a supernatural tale and a psychological study. Was Thomasin truly cursed by witches, or was she destroyed by her family's fear and fanaticism? Eggers never gives us a clear answer, and that's what makes it so haunting. So that's the horror of The Witch, a family doomed by isolation, religion, and their own suspicions, leaving only one survivor who finds freedom only in the embrace of evil. Thanks for watching this breakdown of The Witch. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe to Room of Opinions for more horror explainers. From modern nightmares like Hereditary to classics like The Exorcist, we're diving into the films that disturb us the most. And tell me in the comments, do you think Thomasin made the right choice, or was she doomed from the very beginning?